Hello, everybody, and welcome to another live edition of the Markdown Podcast. My name is Nick Cummings, joined tonight by James Gisante. And no, folks, I am not just sweating because I accidentally left my heat on 80 degrees for the night, and I'm really, really hot in my room. But that was a hell of an AEW revolution, ladies and gentlemen. Woo! That was a great pay-per-view.
It was so solid from top to bottom. Like, there was no moment in the show that didn't deliver. And it's spectacular. AEW, them having infrequent pay-per-views, man, it feels like an event when we get to them. It's fantastic.
I mean, it allows them to stack the cards so much. Like, there's not a dull moment on this card, you know?
I could never go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
I held it in.
I always joke in our group chats and everything, like, that is my one fucking critique with AEW pay-per-views is there's no piss breaks.
Seriously.
Like, ever.
Seriously. I don't know if I'm in that arena when I'd be able to do it. Going even back to like the pre-show, you have that Kenny Omega tease with Don Callis. Can you imagine being online for the bathroom, hearing Kenny Omega's music? You decide to run back and all of a sudden it's just Don Callis. I would be furious.
Well, I was going to say, we kind of did that when we were at Grand Slam. We heard Kenny Omega's music and ran back.
But at least Kenny was there. Kenny was there for that. That's different.
But, like, it's the same thing. Like, all of their cards are honest, even like the Dynamite's not so good. Hey, we're already on a tangent. We don't do tangents. But
we don't do tangents.
Like, we don't even have time to go get a beer,
Like, that's why the best way to watch is at home sometimes.
I mean, genuinely, the only piss break was Tony Schiavone announced what was coming up, like, on Dynamite this week. That was it. So, Tony, let your matches breathe. That's my only critique. But let's jump into the card before we get completely sidetracked here. We're gonna start with we're gonna skip the pre-show here, and we're gonna go straight into the main card. We're gonna start with Eddie Kingston versus Chris Jericho. I was actually a little surprised they started with this. I was hyped for it. No, I was hyped, and they usually put on one of the matches that is going to build the crowd up, and they're going to get really hyped for it. And Eddie was not the guy I was expecting there.
Yeah.
And they delivered. Like, they got that crowd sufficiently hyped. It was a really fun match. And Eddie picked up a very good and a very important win. And if you had Eddie Kingston tapping out Chris Jericho, cash all of the monies, you deserve it.
I was emotional watching Eddie win, just because it feels like this journey has gone on for so long. And it's weird to think how long he's been with the company now. He's been there for 2 years at this point. And to it's
been that long.
Right? And to not get a win on pay-per-view that entire time, I know it was by design, and that's fine. But man, it felt so gratifying for him to finally get this win. And to do it against Chris Jericho, a guy that when Eddie was on the indies couldn't have sniffed being near. And then to tap him out. Oh my God. Good for Eddie Kingston.
Sorry, I'm trying to like tweet us while we're doing
it. Oh no, I'm doing the same. I got Facebook everywhere. Social media
it's easy when there's the four of us and I can just, throw the chat and Danny and I can tweet and produce and whatever. I'm man of many hats, quite literally.
You see, guys, this is what happens when we're at our level. We've got to do everything, but we're doing it for you, all of you.
Now, I was happy Eddie picked up that win. Like you said, he definitely deserved it. He needed a pay-per-view win.
He absolutely needed a pay-per-view win. And I don't think the story's over. And even if their story is over, it's pushing them both in very interesting directions, because Jericho promised, he gave Eddie his word. If Eddie was able to beat him in a match, Jericho would shake his hand and tell him he had his respect. And Jericho couldn't bring himself to shake Eddie's hand. Eddie was the bigger man. He put his hand out for that handshake and it never came. So I don't know what's next for Eddie. Maybe we see him near a title. I don't know what title, but maybe we see him near a title. And maybe we're going back to a dark Jericho. Maybe we're going back to a heel Jericho. It feels a little early, but it's not like Jericho's a spring chicken. He's got a limited time on his clock. So maybe he's trying to fit it all in before he hangs it up.
That was actually going to be my question to you. Do you think we're getting here the heel Jericho? And I would presume your answer is then yes, because that was he fought that match as the heel. Like, clearly, obviously, when you face Eddie, 95% of the time you're probably going to be heel. I think like the Punk match might have been the exception because they both could have fought that match heel. Like, you know what I mean? It was very, very 50-50 there. But Jericho fought this match heel, and he had very heelish tendencies after by not shaking Eddie's hand. So post inner circle, I don't want to say breakup, but let's say separation.
Yeah.
You know, they all seem to be going their separate ways. I think Jericho might be flipping back heel here.
I think the only reason I'm excited for it is because right now AEW's main event scene is very babyface heavy. That's not to say they don't have heels, but it's very babyface heavy. And we've seen a lot of these guys in the same position for a while. Jericho is somebody who can navigate going back and forth, and a heel Jericho going against a babyface Hangman at this stage in the game, I think that's going to be a compelling storyline.
I think it's a very compelling. Honestly, I think Hangman getting that win back from the initial AEW World Heavyweight Championship match is a very compelling storyline. I know Jericho lost. Like, I know he lost, and it's a little WWE-ish to have a guy who loses jump into the main event scene there. But I think that's a really good match for Hangman.
I agree.
You know,
I want to see Hangman go against all the guys who beat him and just ripped apart his self-esteem that led to the destruction of the Elite. I want to see Hangman versus Jericho. I want to see Hangman versus Pac. You know, I think there's a lot there, and this title reign, I know here on the pod we talk about it being a quick reign, and it could still be a quick reign. Maybe by the next pay-per-view it is over, but we have a couple of months between now and the next pay-per-view. Let's put in some more defenses for Hangman, and let's really pad this title reign. I think it's really shaping up to be something enjoyable and memorable.
The interesting question with that, though, is somebody like Pac and who was the other person you mentioned that who he lost to?
Jericho.
Well, besides, so Jericho and Pac and whoever. Those both, I mean, maybe not Pac as much, but definitely Jericho. They both feel like they could be pay-per-view matches.
Absolutely.
But I think because they only have 4 years, you're really going to have to extend that out if you want to do both. Now, granted, they do the big Dynamite match shows, you know, like,
yeah.
I know like Winter is Coming is one, Fighter Fest, Beach Break, whatever. So, like, I guess you could do like Hangman versus Pac on one of those, but Jericho seems like a pay-per-view match, and presuming that Hangman will win that, and we all assume now, at least on the pod, that MJF is taking the title. Like, although he has to deal with Wardlow, which we'll get to. I don't know, that seems like a longer reign, and I don't know, maybe you guys are wrong, because I've been saying I think Hangman's going to have a bit longer of a title reign than you guys think. And
I mean, I'm fine with it. I'm fine. I mean, I don't know. Are we jumping to the main event right now?
I wasn't planning on it, but I guess we're just kind of
let's get to Hangman in a bit. Hangman in a bit. Let's go through the card.
All right, so we'll move on from the whole Jericho, Kingston, and scene. Let's move on to the tag team match for the titles. It was Jurassic Express versus Red Dragon and the Bucks. Jurassic Express picked up the win. And for those of you following along with me on Twitter, A, thank you. And B, you saw that I said Jurassic Express was actually going to steal the show, despite the fact they were kind of in the background coming into this whole thing. And
Yep.
I don't know if they stole the show, but they definitely came out to fuck play. And I think between two of arguably the best tag teams in the world, well, they are two of the best tag teams. I almost say greatest of all time, and I bumped the brakes on it. But between two of the best tag teams in the world, they held their own, no doubt. And they picked up the win. And we continue now the Red Dragon Bucks storyline, and what I thought was one of the better matches on the card.
I think this was my favorite match on the show, just from an action standpoint. I think Jungle Boy looked fantastic. You know, he ate everybody's moves. He was often the man getting double teamed, and yet he persevered. That's how you build up a tough fighting champion. I love the infighting between the Bucks and Red Dragon, and I think we knew it was going to come. It was just a matter of when it would come. I think the right team won here. There's an argument to be made that the biggest tag team storyline should have the titles involved. I understand that, but at the same time, you don't want to feel like the titles are being held hostage to a storyline that is just going to be very exclusive to other teams. So I think everything went the way it should. I think Jurassic Express's tag team title reign, which was feeling a little neglected, I think their recognition has been a little less than, unfortunately. They looked really good here, and man, I just love Jurassic Express's tag finish. I just love that flipping power bomb that they do. Oh my God. I don't know what it is, but it's great.
I think it is the Jurassic Express. Like, I think that is what it's called.
Then choo-choo, keep it going.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. Like, Jurassic Express's title reign, I don't want to say it's been lackluster. They've had a lot of good defenses on, like, Rampage. But Rampage is on at Friday at 10 o'clock. And as much as I try to keep up with it, like, I miss those shows, and I imagine a lot of other people do too. People are busy at Friday at 10 o'clock. Trust me, I know. Yeah. But like they haven't really done too much on Dynamite outside of like some backstage promos real quick. And a lot of this focus was on Red Dragon and the Bucks. And you're absolutely right. Like, we can have this Red Dragon Bucks feud on the side without the titles. It doesn't need it. It's big enough where it doesn't need a title. Would it be bigger? Obviously, yes. But it doesn't need it. And we can continue to have Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus, and especially Jungle Boy, continue to build up and be better and better and better, because he needs that. He's a young kid, you know? So I thought it was the right move as well. I'm going to slightly nitpick, but this is a personal opinion. I always dislike when there's more than two teams in a tag match and there's only two legal men in the match. It drives me nuts.
It's a weird move. It's a weird thing that they do, but I can't say this is something that's been going on in tag wrestling for,
I would say that's a WWE
years.
Move too. Like, I'm not putting it strictly on AEW, but I thought they made it work phenomenally.
I agree. The story is what made it work with this quote unquote deal between the Bucks and the Elite, or the Bucks and Red Dragon. And they really played to that story of them being sneaky and everything. And in the end, it never even really matters with AEW tag team matches. It always devolves essentially into a tornado tag anyway. So unless FTR is involved, but I loved it.
Shout out Rick Knox.
I had to explain this. I was actually having a conversation with Dragoon, who's in our chat right now, and don't worry, we'll talk about we'll talk about the House of Black for you.
What up, Dragoon?
We talked about how sometimes the refs play a little too much of a role in these matches, or at least that's his opinion. And I love that there's like an explanation for certain things. The Bucks pay off Rick Knox, so he overlooks when things just devolve into a mess, because that's how the Bucks
That's BTE canon, I believe. Even though they killed him, they brought him back and now they just pay him off.
Exactly. Everything should matter and everything does matter. So great tag match, great win for the champs. I gotta say, they keep just like Luchasaurus is such a great hot tag, and they keep just Adam Copelanding us on him really hitting his hot tag, and they got to give it to us again really soon.
He is one of the better hot tags in the business.
I think so.
I think so. JR, but
for a big man, I think he's got a great hot tag, and I need more of it. I need it to happen more often.
Also, quick shout out to commentary. They were on point tonight.
Oh, this was a great show. Excalibur was killing it. Shivani was killing it. JR did great. Taz did good in his instances. Everyone was on their A game, no matter what part of the show they were.
Yeah, no mistake. I very much enjoyed JR going, what's the difference between a Liger bomb and a power bomb? And Excalibur was right on it. And he was just like, just testing you, rookie.
That was great.
Like those guys were on point tonight. So shout out to them. Yeah, like I said, the right people won tonight for the tag match. I'm excited to see where the Red Dragon and Young Bucks go. I'm excited to see what Jurassic Express do. They have a whole world of possibilities now because as is tradition with AEW, the tag matches are usually one of the best matches on the card because the Bucks, that's how the Bucks wanted. They wanted to build one of the best tag team divisions in the world, and they fucking have.
And it's something I love tag team wrestling. I love it. I think it's such a great alternative in wrestling. You don't really see it get highlighted the way it needs to, or the way it should, in my opinion. And that was always something that AEW strived to do. They wanted to highlight tag team wrestling. I'm upset that we haven't gotten a pay-per-view main evented by a tag team match yet, and I think it will happen eventually.
And the Bucks Kenny versus Hangman one probably could have.
Oh, I think so too.
I think they're very, hey, the world title is the main event oriented. So I think that's probably why we haven't done it yet.
I get that. I do get that. But at some point they're gonna have the women main event a show.
I hope so.
I hope so too. And I think they will. But we got to get there. We got to get there. The whole tagline of AEW is it's for everyone. It's not the same old wrestling. So tag team main events, women main events, give me everything. Give me anything. But yeah, for Dragoon, let's cover the pre-show House of Black match. We don't need to cover Statlander versus Hirsch. I don't think we got to cover Hook destroying QT Marshall.
I'm gonna be honest. I missed it. I was at a birthday party. I got back to the main card. So James, please
I'll cover it quickly.
Yeah, take it.
Take it away. It was a very entertaining match. Both teams needed the win, and both teams couldn't really afford the loss. But thankfully, Death Triangle, or I guess Death Square, because now there's a fourth guy, maybe. They just brought in somebody new. They just brought in Eric Redbeard, who isn't joining the Dark Order like everybody thinks he should, but is instead part of this group and part of this feud. And I'm very excited to see where he moves forward. I don't know if he's all elite. I don't know if they brought him in just for this match, but I hope he becomes all elite because he really delivered here. The finish of the match was incredible, where you have Brody, Malachi, and Buddy Matthews, all just team up and hit their heaviest shots on this guy. And hey, we saw another instance of somebody getting misted. If this brings out an even darker Eric Redbeard, I'm all for it.
Yeah, I think I caught the tail end of this match. I think it's when I turned it on right after I bought it.
Yeah.
So I kind of saw it. It was cool. I think when I was watching on Rampage and I saw Redbeard come back, I saw a lot of people speculating that they were curious whether or not Ray Phoenix was going to come back.
Yeah.
And maybe he wasn't healthy after his elbow, went sideways.
We don't gotta talk about it. we talked about it.
Yeah.
I think he's going to come back soon. I think he is going to come back soon, but I think he just wasn't quite ready yet.
Yeah, I think they were like, oh, like, let's just wait till the last possible minute and see. And then they grabbed Redbeard at the last second just to.
Yeah. And he works for this. He does work for this. And just to answer what Dragoon said, House of Black for the tag team gold. I do think they are probably in line to take the titles off of Jurassic Express. I think it's like a 3-way race between the Best Friends, Santana and Ortiz, and House of Black. So we'll see.
I would personally hope Santana and Ortiz.
They are overdue. They're overdue for sure.
Those are my boys. I also want to shout out Philip J saying the whole show stole the show. He's not wrong.
I absolutely agree.
Like we said when we came in, there was not a weak point on this card. Mostly. But let's move on here real quick. We'll go to the Face of Revolution ladder match. They pulled the trigger on Wardlow. He took it over Keith Lee, Orange Cassidy, Powerhouse Hobbs, Ricky Starks, and Christian. We were wrong about Keith Lee getting shotgun to the TNT title, but like I just said, between that and we'll get to the CM Punk MJF match in a bit, it seems like they're pulling the trigger on Wardlow here.
I think Wardlow, they've been doing such a nice slow burn with him. Somebody on Reddit the other day showed that after the slap that MJF gave Wardlow on Dynamite, that back and forth was eerily similar to the first time they showed dissension between the two, and that was back in 2020. So they've been really slow burning them falling apart, and him getting this win was a great boost for him. I think everybody mostly looked good. Unfortunately, it looked like there might be some injuries throughout the match. There was a big fear for Ricky Starks because he took that horrendous looking power bomb off the ladder onto the ladder.
He did his best to put his hands behind his head, but Ricky has had neck issues in the past, so
he tweeted that he's okay. He tweeted that he's at least alive, so we're that's something to be good.
But that is a rough bump, no matter what neck issues or not. That was a rough bump.
And apparently there's concern that Orange Cassidy might have gotten a concussion. So we'll see how, God, sending the best to Cassidy. Hopefully he's okay.
Yeah, and
Ricky, of course. But into the match itself, a lot of interesting things to come out of it. Wardlow looking great. They never really let me get my big meaty men slapping meat together. They teased it so many times.
You were so mad.
I was so mad, but it was fine. There were some really creative spots, like Orange standing on them to try and grab the brass ring. The ladder being broken, and Wardlow and Hobbs, who I think this might be Hobbs' best performance to date.
I would agree.
I'd say Hobbs really had a great showing tonight.
I'd never seen that ladder split thing either.
That was fun. That was really fun. I know we're all sad about Keith Lee, but the truth is, once they really started showing this feud with him and Ricky Starks, we should have known that neither were going to win. I wouldn't be surprised if we see Keith Lee versus Starks for the FTW title.
I'm here for it. I'm here for him to take that title too.
I agree. It makes the FTW title feel more important, and it gives him a title without disrupting the natural flow that was the TNT title and the world title scene. So I'm all for it. And good on Wardlow. I once again, Danhausen coming out. I need more. It was fun the first couple times. I need a little more from Danhausen. He didn't even help Orange Cassidy.
Yeah, I love Danhausen, but I thought and when he debuted, I thought that was the right move, the way they did it.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're kind of doing this too much where he just shows up, curses somebody, and walks out. Like, the hilarity of Danhausen is him talking to people, I think, or at least just talking in general. Like, he's a funny fucking dude. He really is.
No, I agree.
So for those of you who have, he's been on Conan Needs a Friend, I think is Conan O'Brien's podcast. It was out of character, but spoiler, Danhausen is always Danhausen. But he explained, he was like, people who aren't fans of wrestling explain me as Conan O'Brien as like a demon. And
not far off.
His main strength is talking. It's not just coming out, doing this, being weird, and walking away. Like, I need more Danhausen talking. So, and they haven't done that yet. And after the Orange Cassidy rollout, I kind of trust Tony with figuring that out. But like, Danhausen's got to get some. Like, give me. I'm sure you've seen this. When Danhausen was in Ring of Honor, like he did a backstage thing where he just like stole a microphone and he just ran around and, like, interviewed people.
Yeah.
Like, that's where the no swearing with
Archer,
what's his name, comes from. Yeah. Like, that's what I need out of Danhausen. And I know that wasn't the main focus of this match, but like, I need more out of it. I just need more speaking out of Danhausen.
I agree. And I think we'll get there.
Yeah.
But I will say, as much as I did like the ladder match, there were some slow moments in it. Agreed. There were, like, it felt like there was a little waiting around. And unfortunately, I think that had to do with maybe some injuries. But overall, good match. And Wardlow is now going to get his TNT title shot against either Sammy Guevara or Scorpio Sky, whoever wins on Wednesday.
I totally forgot Scorp had a match.
I don't know why they do it, but that's what they're doing.
Also, because I didn't see the pre-show, wasn't Paige Van Zandt supposed to sign a contract tonight?
I mean, she was certainly there. They kept showing her on screen, but
that was on Rampage. For those who actually checked into Rampage, that was supposed to happen, and it didn't. So, yeah, no say.
All right, moving on.
Yeah, I was gonna say, let's keep rolling here. We had Jade Cargill defending against Ty Conte. This was good. Ty is one of those people who, at this point, can, I think, actually make most people look good, which is a long way from where she was in NXT.
Yeah,
if you remember her in NXT. Whoa. But
yeah, no, that was it's been a fantastic transition for Ty.
Yeah, no, I love her. And not just even like from Sammy Vlog. Like, I just love her in general. Like, she's so good. Sammy Vlog just makes me love her more. And good on the two of them. But I digress. This was a good, like, it was a good, fun match. You know, Anna, Mark Sterling got his shit kicked in as tradition. And I thought they did a very good job with the ending where Ty accidentally hit the camera. And it was a good way of having Jade win clean without like making Ty look weak, so to speak. You know, like they kept Ty strong, but I mean, Jade picks up a really good win and probably her best win to date.
It was a very, and I called that going into the show. I said this was going to be Jade's best match and it was going to be her best win.
Yes, you were.
It's interesting. It's interesting because they kind of role reversed a little bit. Jade really almost played the match a little more babyface, and Ty kind of played it a little more heel, especially that chair shot from Anna. And I don't know. I knew Jade needed the win. She got the win. She looked good in the win. I think this was definitely the better of the two women's matches on the main card. And I think we're just going to continue to see the climb of Jade Cargill.
Yeah, I think every match Jade has, she does better. I think. I mean, she's a natural athlete. Like, and I know they promote this, but she is. Like, she was a ball player. Like, she's so athletic. She's learning every time she's in the ring. And being in there with somebody like Ty, where, you know, Ty can help her through it, so to speak, is a good thing. And she looks really good.
Absolutely.
But, so I'm here for Jade continuing to win. I'm also here for Jade's Mortal Kombat gear. Bonk. Like, come on. But, you know, and I don't think Jade's gonna lose for a while. They're not making these graphics for shit.
Yeah, for nothing. Exactly. We just hit 29. I think we're gonna get near 50. I don't know if we're gonna hit 50, but I think we're gonna get near 50.
It's gonna get close.
Yeah.
Like, I can see her getting like up into the high 40s and she faces somebody like Sheeta
or like if like Britt loses the title at some point, like maybe she faces Britt. Like somebody.
That's never gonna happen. Britt's never losing the title.
Well, we'll get to that in a minute, but like somebody like on the upper echelon of the women's card.
Yeah.
Not that Ty isn't, but like, you know, there's the main players of the women's card, and she'll get up there and maybe she'll lose, but I don't know. I think she's gonna hit 50. I really do.
It's very possible.
Yeah, like I said, they keep making those graphics, and it seems right. All right, so let's keep moving here. We had all of the blood, part 1, CM Punk, MJF, dog collar match. Just.
Right. I gotta fanboy for a minute because
let me just keep fanning myself off and you can go ahead.
From the entrance on, we had to know this was going to be magical. Coming out to his old Ring of Honor entrance theme.
I was like, you were coming all right.
Oh my god. Coming out in the same outfit he wore, the same gear he wore in the original dog collar match he had years ago with Raven. Man, he was setting us up. He promised something with that entrance. He promised something with that gear, and he delivered it. You could say whatever you want about how bloody it was. You could say whatever you want about the violence of it all. You know what you're getting with a dog collar match. I was watching it with my dad, and he's never seen a dog collar match before. And I told him, be prepared for something bloody, be prepared for something vicious, and that's exactly what we got. No action felt small. Everything was smart. Everything was brutal. Whether it was hanging from the chain, whether it was the thumbtack spot, whether it was beating each other with the chain, it was just vicious. And this was the perfect culmination for this feud. I want to get into the finish in a second, but I want to know what you thought about everything leading up to it.
Well, I just got distracted because my roommate just tried to.
Oh, I know. That was me. I was talking way more than I needed to, but I was trying to buy you some time.
Thanks, Ryan. Honestly, it was funny. He came in right after that match ended. I was like, "You missed the good one. You missed the blood one." He's not a big wrestling guy. I'm going to jump right to the end because obviously everything that preceded it was dope. Like I loved every second of it, but I thought the ending was the smartest way to do that.
Yeah,
because we were all like, I think at least on the prediction show we had, we were like, MJF should win unless Wardlow gets involved.
Yeah,
if they pull the trigger on it, and they obviously, as we said before, they pulled the trigger on Wardlow. This was it. This was Wardlow's bit, and the way he did it, I thought was great. And I thought the way Punk won. I mean, let me jump back. I'm not the Ring of Honor guy you are. I'm not Ring of Honor John Cena guy. But
few are.
No, you are. I'm Ring of Honor adjacent. But like I immediately was like, all right, this is like one of the Ring of Honor one of the Ring of Honor things. Like I knew it was going on. It was awesome. I thought the selling of the knee and the selling of the hand between Punk and MJF respectively were both awesome. MJF is so good at selling body parts throughout a match. Like he wrestles so infrequently, you almost kind of forget how good he is at doing that. Like, so him doing that with the hand the whole time, he couldn't get the salt of the earth on properly.
Yep.
He couldn't hit certain moves. Like it was so good. Punk not really truly being able to get the GCS until the end was good. Like it was not just a violent match, like a story was told throughout.
It was a smart match.
Yes.
And it played to a lot of AEW strengths. Not to say one is better than the other, but if you look at a WWE match, you don't typically get people wiggling out of finishers. It's typically they'll eat a finisher and then you get the 2 count. Here in AEW, they do a lot more to do resistance. You don't get a lot of 2 count finishers. You get a lot of, I'm not going to let this finisher get hit on me. And I think it's a very key difference. And we got that a lot in this match. No GTS, no salt of the earth. Punk tried doing the Pepsi plunge, couldn't get it. There was a lot of that, a lot of survival in this match. I do want to acknowledge Dragoon saying he disagrees with MJF losing. I think we all were kind of bracing for it after that beatdown he gave Punk. And I think the only reason it's okay is because of Wardlow. If Punk just got the win, it would have been a problem.
Yeah, it's the way he lost.
Exactly.
It makes it okay.
Yeah. And as for the Wardlow MJF feud that is sure to come, I don't know that MJF loses that feud. I don't think Wardlow needs to win it. Like, if you have the entire Pinnacle just wrecking him and he still looks like a beast, I think he's okay. I think the real feud, as much as it's going to be with MJF, I think it's going to be way more satisfying for him to just finally be the guy to put Shawn Spears down.
Yeah, no, he's going to be Spears.
So great
like match. That's what Spears is there for. Is for Wardlow to beat him.
Absolutely. And I just got to say, is it me or is just Wardlow like so friggin' charismatic?
I would know people who disagree with you. It's interesting. He has very good charisma without saying anything.
He has a presence.
Yeah, that's the word. He has a presence. He does. So I think at some point he is going to have to cut promos, and that's going to be a thing, and we'll see how that goes.
I mean, we have no reason to think he's going to be good or bad. We don't really know. Yeah, it's not like he ever has the opportunity. We'll see.
He's young, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. He's fairly young.
Yeah, he's on the younger side. I don't know if he's like a kid. I don't think he's a kid.
I think he's like late 20, like 27, 28, 29, like somewhere in there. I'm not going to Google it. I'm lazy. But like he's somewhere around there. So he's got time. Like they have time to build him up, and he's going to continue to learn, whether it's ring or promo or whatever. But like as far as I'm concerned, we are scratching the surface of Wardlow.
Oh, I agree. He's a talent that will be developed for years to come. For years to come, we're going to see a lot of growing, and we're going to see a lot of, I don't want to say change, but he's definitely going to be on a journey.
Yeah, he's one of those guys, like we always talk about, like the 4 pillars of AEW, at least on the men's side, and then we throw Britt in there. But like he's like, there's that second tier that we always not forget about, but it's like it's Ricky Starks, and then like him, and like people like that, where it's like they have so many young good people in there that like they've been setting up their card 10 years from now.
Holy crap, thanks to Dragoon, we found Wardlow is 34.
Oh wow, I would not have known that.
His skincare game is top notch, so you go Wardlow.
Thank you, Dragoon, for being the Tony Rally stat boy of the chat there. But I mean, even then, like, 10 years from now, it's not, it's feasible. It's wrestling. They fucking, we'll get to it in a minute, but Sting jumped off the fucking rafters into 4 tables and he's 62. Like, you can wrestle forever if you take care of your body. That man's going to be around for a minute and a half.
I know. Even if he wrestles till he's 40, that's another 6 years. You can do a lot in 6 years in wrestling.
I mean, 6 years ago, AEW wasn't invented, and I don't know, Kenny was still probably, was Kenny even fighting Okada yet? Like,
he was definitely in Japan, I'll say.
Yeah, I mean, maybe he had one of the Okada. Like 6 years is a long fucking time.
Exactly.
So I'm curious to see what both Punk and MJF do after this match now, though. Like, Punk got his win back, albeit, I don't want, like, it wasn't clean, but I mean, it was a dog collar match, so he had help. Yeah. And MJF is now pissed. Like, is there more Punk stuff? Is it just straight to the Wardlow thing?
I think we're going to go straight into Wardlow.
I'm curious.
Like, if they had just done it that Wardlow didn't know where the ring was, Sure, you could have dragged it out a little bit.
But yeah,
he gave that ring to Punk. He gave that ring to Punk. There's no way you can't attribute Punk's win to Wardlow. So yeah, I think we're going to go straight into Wardlow versus the Pinnacle.
Yeah, and I'm here for it. I wasn't. We were all unsure whether or not they were going to pull the trigger on it, and they did. So
that they did.
Here we are. So following that match was slightly unfortunately, I think, in my opinion, the women's championship match. Dr. Britt Baker, DMD versus Thunder Rosa. Not the best, not the worst.
This was my least favorite match of the night,
which is upsetting.
It is. So I would like to say, first off, going even back to Jade versus Ty, both women's matches were placed in points that were just super unfortunate. Yeah. They were the cool down matches, and you don't want to see both women's matches be placed as the cool down matches.
Yeah. I think that's part of what we talked about at the top of the show, where like the cards are so stacked, like it's kind of hard to have a cool down match.
I get that.
The women's matches were in the cool down spots, and that's very unfortunate.
And it didn't help that in reality, this match wasn't great. Now, let me say, I love Britt. I think she is a fantastic champion. And I think she's a fantastic asset to AEW. And I love Thunder Rosa. I think it's just a matter of time before she's eventually champion. But there was just something about this match that didn't click. It never felt like it really hit that next gear. And I mean, the rumors going into tonight were that Thunder was hurt. We don't know if she actually was. We don't know what was going on.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
That was a very prominent rumor. And based off how the match went, it's possible. It is possible. There were a lot of shenanigans. That's not to say Thunder didn't take some pretty heavy spots, but I don't know. Maybe that's why they didn't pull the trigger on her getting the win. And beyond all that, moving forward with them, I don't know where Britt goes from here, because Britt has beaten everybody. She's beaten every worthwhile challenger. And they announced a number one contenders match on Dynamite. We're going to get legit Layla Hirsch versus Thunder Rosa again. I don't get how Thunder is in this match. They specifically said she's now number 2 on the rankings because of this loss.
So I would assume then Hirsch is number 1. That was honestly the only time I had to pee throughout the entire card. Yeah, so sorry, Shivani, but like I had to use the bathroom.
It was, I don't understand. And I think Thunder gets the win and becomes number 1 contender, because I don't see them doing heel versus heel with Layla. I don't think she could really compete with Britt on the mic. So I don't know what the plan is. And if Thunder was really hurt, or hurt enough that she wasn't going to win because of it, they should have just scrapped her from the show in general. Overall, the 1 weak spot on an otherwise great card. And that's unfortunate given the talent involved.
Yeah, I agree. Like, I think we all know that these women can have a much better match than they did.
Yeah, we've seen it. Yeah. We've seen it multiple times.
And not just the lights out match. Like, you know, sometimes you can, you know, gimmick your way through a match with all the tables and whatever. Like they fought one-on-one, and it's been far better than this. It especially in the middle there, it felt very clunky.
I agree.
Like somebody missed a spot or something, like they were just calling it on the fly. Like it felt really like, okay, they did a move, and then like they were like, okay, what's next? Like somebody forgot something. I don't know what happened. I'm just rampantly speculating, but like it just felt off, and knowing it could have been better, it was unfortunate. So maybe it was that Thunder is actually hurt. Maybe who knows? But it was a disappointing match from 2 women who I just want to see do well, because I know they can do well, and I want this women's division to be good. Yeah, you know, like Sheeta came back on Friday, and I was hyped. You know, and there's shit like that where the women's division can be hype. Like it can be good. And if Tony gives them the time, 99% of the time, I think it's gonna be good. And this was like the 1% of the time where they just, I don't want to say failed to deliver, but like it was a little, I was whelmed.
that is a perfectly good word for
it.
it.
I was whelmed.
Very whelmed.
We do have to shout out though that new women's title.
I love it. It
looks great.
It looks like I forget. Somebody showed a comparison on Reddit. I think it's reminiscent of the old Mid-South belt, and the AEW women's belt has gone through a lot of change. First, we had like the comically small version of the belt,
which only looked big on Rio because Rio's like a 100 pounds soaking wet.
It did Nyla Rose no favors, and then with Britt it got bigger. Well, Sheeta technically had it.
But then she literally
that night she dropped it to Britt.
She dropped it,
and now this new belt.
Which is why I was actually it was like, oh, is Britt gonna lose because the new belt?
I mean, I think this belt looks like a world championship.
Yeah, agreed.
It feels way more like a world championship than the previous belt, and I if this is a sign, I'll take it.
Yeah, no, it looks great. Also, I'm gonna hop in the chat here.
No, Dragoon doesn't deserve. He doesn't deserve it right now. He's being a very petty mark, and I refuse to acknowledge his hatred of Britt Baker.
Well, no, I'm not going to acknowledge his hatred of Britt Baker. I do agree with him that like the outside interference in that match did get slightly ridiculous. Yeah. Like it was a little too much. Like I agree. There's a lot. It hit a point of diminishing returns. And to borrow a line for community, wasn't a man. But we'll move on here. You were right, Joe. We had Jon Moxley versus Bryan Danielson. Oh, you didn't like this, did you?
Oh no, I did like it. I liked it a lot.
That wasn't the vibe I got from that. Oof.
Oh no, I needed to like let it out. I was like I was like physically hurting watching this match. More so than the dog collar match. And the right guy won. Moxley getting the win was necessary.
In a very smart way.
I love the fact that Bryan, who's been all about the violence, which is usually Moxley's shtick, lost because Moxley went with Bryan's shtick. He went technical. Moxley beat Bryan at his own game while Bryan was trying to go with Moxley's game. I very much loved it. I thought I thought the dog collar match was bloody. I think Moxley bled more than anybody could have predicted.
He got himself good with that.
Yeah, my favorite spot of the match is when they're locked in together and they just start kicking each other in the chest. It was beautiful. The idea of this is these are two badasses. These are two of the heaviest hitters the company has, and they're just gonna keep friggin' hitting each other. It was beautiful, and I don't know about you, but the most memorable thing of the night came after the match for me. Yeah. The highlight of the night, the highlight of the match wasn't even in the match. It was after the match. But please go ahead. I want you to bask in this glory with me.
We already did that. We already talked about Keith Lee. No, I was laughing when you said Moxley went technical, and I was thinking of an old Dean Ambrose promo. He beat some like quote unquote hot shot person in WWE, like up and coming rookie, and he went in the back and just started ranting to Renee about being like, you know, you got to take the young, like he beat him with a roll up. And he was just yelling about, the young bull and like like using like old school techniques or something. And I was just like, no, like he's always had the technique in him. Like he is a technical wrestler. He just doesn't want to do that.
He has more fun beating people up.
Yeah, but if you want to go technical with him, he'll match you step for step. And fucking Bryan tried to match him in the violence, and he went, "Oh, you're tripping." you're slipping trying to match me with the violence, so I'm gonna counter you with the technical shit. I thought that was awesome. It was, like you said, it was a bloody match. Obviously, they were gonna bleed. I mean, It was the whole build up, like they were gonna fucking bleed. And then Regal coming out, and
no, say it right. William Regal came out like the angry, disappointed dad that he was, and literally slapped some sense into Jon Moxley and Bryan Danielson to the point
he headbutted Mox.
Like
he had blood in his nose, and
he looked like Rudolph afterwards. And we had this man intimidate Bryan Danielson and Jon Moxley into playing nice with one another. I don't think there could have been a better introduction for William Regal. I got to agree with the sentiment. I might be stealing a line here, but I don't think there was a bigger no-brainer signing for AEW than William Regal.
Oh, it's brilliant on like so many levels, not just on screen, but off screen as well. Like he's great backstage, he's great like training people, and he's great on screen. Like, and with putting him with these two dudes, and we'll see now. Maybe honestly, I think this pushes the whole like they're gonna team up bit. I think a bit more.
Oh no, it's happening. This is not just a team. This is not just a tag team now. This is a tag team with a manager. This is a tag team or a faction. And I stand by. I was never really a big supporter of Bryan and Mox being the team, but now that we're here, I'm all for it.
Yeah, he's the dude who can keep both of them in line. And maybe they take the titles off Jurassic Express. You know what I mean?
Stop. I can only get so erect. I can only get so erect. Come on. I also got to say, and we're going a little bit bigger here. With Tony Khan's acquisition of Ring of Honor, I can't think of a better guy to lead these young lions in Ring of Honor than William Regal. Make him the commissioner of Ring of Honor the way he was the general manager of NXT, and you have a dynamite, no pun intended, product in Ring of Honor. You have all the ingredients to make something great work there.
I really hope that drum roll came through the mic.
No, it did. It wasn't pronounced, but it was there.
Yeah. No, I 100% agree with you. He would be so good running that show, probably both off screen and on. Like,
no, I agree.
Tony could probably just be like, all right, Regal, here you go.
Have fun.
Ring of Honor.
Here are the keys.
And here are the keys to the kingdom. Go for it. And he'd probably have a fucking fantastic show.
Yeah, big time.
But before we get to the last two matches here, we do have to talk about the fact that Swerve showed up as a big announcement. I'm only saying Swerve because I'm not entirely sure what they're officially calling him.
He's going with his usual name, Shane Strickland, and he's the way Strickland. Yeah, okay. That's the way Shivani announced him.
Okay.
Shane
I didn't want to call him Isaiah Swerve Scott again.
No, I get you. I also want an apology from you, sir.
Me?
You and our other friend Ryan. You guys were saying I was ahead of you and I was spoiling stuff. It's not my fault. Shivani doesn't know how to hide a contract when the only word on the contract is in giant bold letters, Swerve.
Well, I can't read right now.
Well, I could, and it didn't matter because Shivani said it within a few seconds anyway. But no, I did nothing wrong in my life ever, and it was
Lo siento.
Thank you. But no, in all seriousness, how great is it that this talent that we all just know is great is getting a shot in the arm now with AEW?
I'm excited for him. I'm excited to see what they do with him. I hope he doesn't get lost in this AEW is getting everyone cool shuffle.
I have a feeling it's not going to happen simply because he no disrespect to this next name, but he's not Jay Lethal, who was signed out of the blue and no one was expecting it to happen.
Yeah, and he ended up mostly on Rampage and Dawn.
Yeah. Swerve is a guy that people have been waiting to see signed by AEW. There was a lot of hype with him within WWE that, of course, they just didn't capitalize on. So I don't see him getting lost in the shuffle. And there have been these rumors since he got released from WWE that if he's going anywhere, it's going to be related to the House of Black. And I think Swerve in House of Black, it's weird. It's different. It's so different than what we got from him with Hit Row, but he seems like the type of worker who doesn't want to be one thing. I think he's so versatile that we could see him showing up in almost any position and making it work.
Hit Row, totally a swing and a miss. But
it wasn't their fault.
No, they were so good in NXT, and then they like brought him up and split him up. It was so dumb, but like to the point where I felt bad for all of them. But I'm hyped for Swerve. He can come in, like he's one of those dudes where like I know they didn't do it, and we all thought they were going to. They didn't have like the mystery contender in the Face of Revolution match. If he was that guy, instead of we all thought it was going to be Cesaro/Claudio. But if he was that guy, I think we all would have been really excited. Yeah. Not even just excited, ecstatic. You know?
Yeah. No, I agree.
They didn't do it at all. But him being there, he has so much potential and possibilities is a lot. Like, we don't know where it's going yet. He literally just showed up, said hi, signed a contract, and walked out.
And the reception to him was great. The crowd was doing the
crowd was pretty good tonight.
Oh, the crowd in general, I got to give it to the crowd. They were great throughout, but they were there for him. You know, they were doing the whose house thing. They were doing that whole bit for him, and he was smart enough to play with it. You know, he didn't let it go. So that T-shirt is coming. You know that. You know they're going to do that T-shirt. And
I again, for those of you who follow, I did the Matt Damon dog, but whose house? Rosa's house. I could not do it.
So, yeah, just not much more to say on it, but very excited for Swerve.
Yeah. I know it's developmental, but do you think he could be a guy in Ring of Honor? Like,
potentially.
I think he would have a fun run down there if they just, like, needed for him, like, something for him to do for a bit, as I almost break my phone.
I mean, the reality is be careful. We don't know what Ring of Honor is going to be yet. We've heard that it's going to be developmental, but we don't know what that really entails yet. And just because it's developmental doesn't mean that they're not going to need some seasoned hands. You know, even NXT back when things were really developing there, they had main roster talent who were polished and seasoned come down and work with the younger talent.
I think Punk fought Ambrose once.
Punk teamed with WWE champion CM Punk teamed with NXT champion Seth Rollins.
Yeah.
Cesaro came down and had a beautiful series of matches with Sami Zayn. Titus O'Neil came down, and you don't need them all to be top of the card AEW guys to come down to Ring of Honor, but even if you just have trusted workers who are going to bring out the best in those kids or the best in those young talents, that's all you need. So Strickland can definitely be that guy from time to time, but I do want to see him thrive in AEW.
Yeah. He's definitely like immediate contender to the TNT title. I think. I know Wardlow's going to get it. He's probably going to hang on to it for a minute and a half. But
I don't know.
Oh, that's true. MJF might fuck him out of it.
Yep. He might win it. And if he does win it, I could see maybe MJF really taking it from him fast because of that Pinnacle stuff.
Or, I mean, MJF might just be like, you work for me, bud, and I'm not letting you keep it and take it. And then he actually like is all elite and then actually beats him.
There is a lot you can do with this. And that's even if they don't screw him out of winning it in the first place.
Yes. So
we'll see.
But right. So Wardlow aside, I think he's definitely in that conversation for the TNT title. Like he's definitely like in the short term.
Admittedly, I could just see Strickland being a part of the world title fixture too. Like he could be in that picture, and I think he could thrive there. But again, let's let him have his first match before we start booking him for title wins.
That's true. I mean, there's so much going on with both the Ring of Honor stuff coming up and all the title fixtures and pictures and
everything.
Other words.
Yeah. Words are indeed difficult.
They can be.
Also, I am remembering that Punk fought Ambrose, I'm pretty sure, in NXT, and then he like cut a promo and he was like, hey, when you win the title, come back down and fight somebody. And I'm pretty sure Ambrose did that. So
that's pretty awesome.
It was cool. It was like a house show and it was cool. But awesome. Let's move on here. We only got 2 matches left. We have the Tornado Trios tag match, which I'd love me a good tornado tag, a Tornado Trios tag. Oh, I'm so there. Give it to me.
It was chaos in the best way possible.
Oh, yeah. So it was Darby Allin, Sammy Guevara, and Sting against Andrade, Matt Hardy, and Isaiah Cassidy. Mark Quang got involved. Fucking Jose, the assistant, was kind of there. A lot of chaos. I said earlier, 62-year-old man Sting jumped off the bleachers through like 5 tables.
Oh, man.
Honestly, this was the quote-unquote cool down match after Moxley and Bryan.
Which is crazy.
And it was pure chaos. I loved every second of it. Obviously, the right people won, at least I think. There wasn't as much discord between Darby and Sammy as I thought there was going to be.
Yeah.
There wasn't as much post-match, not shenanigans, but like disappointment between Hardy and Isaiah and
that
Quinn.
Was the big surprise. I was really surprised by that.
That might come on Dynamite. We'll see.
Yeah.
But
I don't think you could really sell too much just because those guys needed to be knocked out after everything they endured in the match. Which there was a lot. Like I know we're talking about
it was so chaotic. I don't even remember who got pinned. I think it was Matt Hardy, but I have no idea.
Darby pinned Matt after hitting the Scorpion Death Drop onto the chair, and then hitting the coffin drop across the ring, and really just absolutely missing Matt.
Yeah,
like, he just could not get far enough, but at least his head hit him.
Yeah, Matt was slightly too far. Also, that like randomly reminds me, not to jump back. Jericho hit a lion salt on Eddie, and he completely missed.
Yep.
And Excalibur beautifully sells it. Oh, he hit the knee onto the orbital bone. That's how accurate Chris Jericho is with the lion salt. And I was like, yeah, well, he's selling his eye, which is a new one, but sure, yeah, that works. Like Shadow Excalibur, just completely letting it go.
Gotta love it. Gotta love the attempt there.
Excalibur, easily the best guy at making shit work.
I love the match. I think everybody had a good spot. I know it's very easy to focus on Sting's splash through those tables, but man, that Spanish fly from Sammy onto Isaiah through the tables, which the tables didn't even break. They just it collapsed.
Did it? Oh, I thought it broke a little bit.
The legs broke out and the table just fell. That, oh my God, it was brutal in the best way.
I'm a sucker for a good Spanish fly.
Oh, me too.
The Cruiserweight Classic. Shout out to good old Cruiserweight Classic. I think it was the first time I saw Spanish flies, and I was just like, "Oh my God, I love this move. This is my new it was my new favorite move." And anytime I see one, I am a sucker for a good Spanish fly. And that one was brutal.
It really was. It really was.
Sammy's a sociopath.
Oh no, everyone talks about Darby being this like death-defying guy. Sammy does it with style too. It's miraculous.
He's loco,
yeah. And I don't know if you noticed, but Ty did that too. That she went for that. That had to have been something they like.
Probably
that was like their little thing going into the night, but it was cute. Great match.
So cute.
The right team lost. I don't even want to say the right team won, but the right team lost, and we're definitely going to see the ramifications of that on Wednesday.
Yeah. No, I think the HAFO or AHFO or whatever fucking order it's in.
AHFO.
Yeah. That's the Acclaimed. And we love the Acclaimed because we're not cops. But no, they had to lose because there's a split coming somewhere. Also, they specifically mentioned Jeff on commentary.
Finally.
So I know we already had a whole segment on a previous pod that he's coming through because he kind of accidentally said he was. So, but he's coming now. So,
every report is saying he's going to be there on Wednesday, and I don't even know if that's possible.
Is his 90-day up?
I think his 90-day is up on Wednesday. So I don't even know if legally he could. I think it's usually the day after that you're available. But if he's,
it's literally going to depend on the time and the time zone.
Right?
They should do it in the East Coast so that like it's the earliest time they could do it without leaving the country. And it ends at like 6:00, and then fucking AEW's at 8, and we're okay.
I will take it. I am so ready. I am so ready. And I don't even know, because technically Matt hasn't been kicked out yet. So it's like, is Jeff just visiting backstage, and he's like, whoa, they're beating up my brother. I gotta go rescue him. I don't know, but
they could do it in the ring, regardless. And then Jeff just comes out and like cleans house.
Well, we'll see.
But I don't know. It's weird. Like the way they're setting it up is like Matt's really pissed at Isaiah, and subsequently like Mark for like not doing well.
Yeah. And
then I think Andrade then is like, no, it's not their fault, it's your fault, and then kicks him out, and then we get.
I think so too.
Yeah, but this was fun. You know, like I said, Spanish flies, tornado tags. What else do I need? I could have went to bed happy after that, but we had one more match.
Hell of a main event.
And it was not only a hell of a main event, it was the main event, and it was for the AEW World Championship. Hangman Adam Page, Adam Cole, baby. Let's go, Adam. Adam sucks.
I think the true star of this match was the crowd, with every chant that they did for Adam. Which Adam? Who knows? But for Adam, definitely got some love tonight from that crowd.
They're getting a little cute, but I was here for it.
You have one opportunity to do it, you know?
You get one shot at one opportunity, you're gonna take it, you're gonna let it slip.
I would be disappointed if they didn't deliver. So thank you, AEW crowd. I don't even think they hijacked the match.
No, they definitely did it. Like it was fun. It was definitely fun. If they hijacked the match, I would have been pissed. But they didn't take away from it.
Yeah. There were so many good spots in this match. Two great Panama Sunrises. One on the outside of the ring.
The one on the outside was vicious.
It was vicious. But then the sell of the Panama Sunrise in the ring. Hangman just straight up is standing on his head. And it was incredible. And it was delivered. It was then followed by that amazing what does Adam call it here?
What's his name? Just says he lowers the boom. Excalibur says he lowers the boom.
It was so good.
It's kind of like in WWE when Daniel Bryan just the knee, like it never had a name. It's just, he lowers the boom. Definitely. It's a verb. It's not a name.
And I loved
not a proper noun.
There was that beautiful tombstone spot onto the hardest part of the ring on the apron. That was great. And
the Deadeye on the table too.
The Deadeye was fantastic.
Oh, I love that.
These guys beat the crap out of each other, and they did it without one. There was no color in the match. There was no bleeding, and it was just two guys with a lot of history fighting on probably the biggest stage they've ever fought. And you could tell there was a comfortability in that match, and it was fantastic.
Yeah. I think no color was the right call. And like we had so much blood like the whole night.
I agree. I agree. It would have felt out of place in this match in particular.
Yeah.
And Red Dragon getting involved was a good spot. Them being countered by the Dark Order made it even better.
I like what's his name Reynolds had the vest on.
Yeah, Reynolds and Silver. Reynolds and Silver
had one on too. Yeah.
It was great. And I love that Hangman just pushes Reynolds into Red Dragon. Like he shoves him into him. And it's just like, beat the fuck out of these guys for me, please, so I could go handle business. I loved it. And
I was half expecting the Bucks. I was half expecting them, but I wasn't sure what they were gonna do should they show up. Like I was just like, oh, if they showed up, like, are they gonna go after Red Dragon? Are they gonna help Adam?
I'm glad that they did.
Cole, like, yeah, I think
keeping them out of it was probably smarter because it would have been so confusing as to their intentions.
Yeah.
It would probably would have been a little too much.
And it's one thing for them to be having friction with Red Dragon. It's another thing for them to already have friction with Adam Cole. Baby. So I think it was the right move to keep them out of it. And it felt more natural to just have Dark Order get involved.
Yeah, agreed.
You know, like those are his boys and they were there for him. So
I'm glad they're back.
You know, me too. I hope it's something that remains consistent though.
Yeah.
No, I don't want it to just be because whoever Hangman is facing has backup, he needs backup. I want that relationship to maintain.
Yeah. The Silver Reynolds Hangman BTE bit was funny. It's like, you're sleeping with Adam Cole, and they're like, oh, it was very sexually charged, baby. But like it was good. Honestly, so 3 things of note that I had from this match. One, I was like half expecting One Winged Angel out of Hangman.
That would have been bold.
Like,
that would have been mighty bold.
I was half expecting it, maybe even like a tease, but I'm not surprised it didn't happen. 2, I thought Hangman lowering the boom, or not Hangman lowering the boom. Oh, that was cool. But Cole doing it and not taking down the knee pad and then Hangman kicking out of it was a brilliant way.
Yeah. And they even explained it well, that he was just like, he knew he needed to hit it as fast as possible because he had the momentum and he couldn't afford to take the time to do it.
Yeah.
That was a great story explanation from commentary. I don't know if that was done to cover it up that he didn't do it, or if that was just always, that was great. That was great.
I think Excalibur knows Cole well enough because PWG and shit.
Yeah.
Like, he would know, like, especially too, because every time in AEW, Adam Cole has hit that move, he has lowered that knee pad.
Yeah.
So it was like a clear build up to him not doing that and then Page kicking out.
Yeah.
The third thing is, you were wrong. They didn't do the ROH spot. And I'm not calling you out on it because you were wrong. I'm kind of disappointed they didn't do it. I really wanted to see it.
I was too. And I was going to bring it up. I was going to eat some crow on it. And
I don't want you to. I'm just honestly, like, I'm disappointed.
No, I am too. And that's the thing. I do think we're going to see Hangman and Adam Cole I don't think they're going to be like eternal rivals, but I think we're going to see them cross paths a lot in their careers in AEW. And I think this was round 1 and it went to Hangman. And I'm sure in a future round, we might see that spot revisited, but I enjoyed what we got. I enjoyed seeing Hangman go for Cole's finish with he lowered his knee pad instead. It was good. And, you know, hopefully that spot gets brought out of the closet. The shiniest of wizards.
Well, almost shiniest of wizards. What's her name as the shiniest wizard?
Who is it?
Tegan. It was Tegan Knox. I forget. I don't know her indie name, but yeah. Tegan Knox in NXT. The shiniest of wizards.
The shiniest of wizards. But great match between 2 young guys. I think this is, I can't prove it, but I think this is AEW's first pay-per-view main event where the 2 main eventers were both under 30.
Well, I mean, I would agree with you, but we also thought Wardlow was like 28 and he's 34. All
right, that's fair. That's fair.
Now, Phil, I'll Google it.
But great match, and I am fascinated to see where the Elite go from here. I very much want to know who Hangman's next challenger is going to be, and I hope he has 1 or 2 before we get to the next pay-per-view.
So Hangman was born in 91. Someone do that math.
Yeah. So Hangman. So that means he's 31.
Well, he'll be 31 this year.
Okay. So
he's 30 right now, and then Cole is 89. So he's 2 years. So he'll be.
Wow. So I was just way wrong.
He's 32. So he'll be
all these guys, their skincare regimen has to just be like incredible.
Spray tan party.
Baby.
But I mean, like in wrestling years, that's nothing.
Oh,
like,
no, they are young. They are about to hit their prime.
Also, too, like you mentioned, like eternal rivals. it is amazing how many eternal rivals AEW has set up.
Oh yeah, I mean that's the beauty.
You have sorry, not to cut you off. You have Darby and Sammy. I think they're going to be going out all the time. Well, I mean, honestly, the four pillars in general. You have Darby, Sammy, Jungle Boy, and MJF. But like Jungle Boy and MJF are really gonna fucking go at it forever. And then Darby and Sammy seem to be kind of on their own side. But like Darby and MJF are a good pairing. But even like past that, like there are so many people where like they just set them up where anytime these two people meet, it's going to be like you just have so many. I don't want to say Rock Austins, but like
but I get you.
You know what I mean? Like
so Rock many Austin Cena Randys, so many John Cena Randy Ortons.
But even then, like they did that so much, like it got burned out. They're gonna do it where, at least I hope they do, where it feels like every time it's it's a Rock Austin big deal, even if they do it 15, 20 times.
Yeah, no, I agree. You know, and I think there are two reasons for that. One,
they're smart.
All right, so three reasons then. One being that you have talent that is presented as important. It's not just the main eventers that are important. Everybody they try to represent everybody in a way that makes them feel worthwhile. So when then you have them finally crossing paths with somebody else worthwhile, it's exciting. Two, you're acknowledging history. Cole and Hangman having this feud was bolstered by the fact that AEW acknowledged the fact that they had history with Bullet Club, history in Ring of Honor, and
they mentioned multiple times they were roommates.
Exactly. If you don't acknowledge the past, this feud meant nothing. It would have been so quick. It would have been so random. But
it would have felt more like. Sorry to cut you off. It would have felt more like the next dude coming into NXT and taking the title because he's just the next dude coming in.
Exactly.
Know? Like he was kind of like Cole was kind of that, but they built him a bit, and then it was like, oh, by the way, we have all this history.
Yeah.
You know, like they hot-shotted him to the title quicker than most people.
I mean, you also got to remember this was technically Cole's first loss.
Oh, that's
he's had a couple tag losses, so he's been undefeated in AEW. Yeah, it's his first singles loss, and that means his record was probably that of a guy who deserves to be going for the title because he's been wrestling pretty consistently.
Yeah, no, I think he is. What I love about AEW, wins and losses matter. He was undefeated in singles wrestling. I know it was a short term, but and they weight dudes being good coming in as part of it. And I know it's like kayfabe, but that's part of the ranking process. So he Absolutely. Was like 15-0 or something. Yeah, you get a title shot. That's how that shit works.
Hell yeah. And it makes sense given the world we're in with them. So I'm sad to see Cole not be a champion right now. I know that day is going to come because he's too good not to be champion.
Oh.
And what happened?
I know it'll happen.
Oh, it'll happen.
Like he's got so much time. We just broke down their ages. Like he's got plenty of time to be AEW world champion.
Exactly. So Hangman's reign gets to continue. He gets to still be the champion that we love. Cole is going to be an angry, bitchy bitch coming into Dynamite on Wednesday, which he should be. And it's just going to cause even more tension between Red Dragon and the Young Bucks. So I'm excited. And all the while, I think the fact that they had Callis come out during that pre-show, we're not there yet for Kenny coming back, but we're inching closer to it.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely, like I said, I missed the pre-show. The second we hop off of this, I am watching it on YouTube because apparently it was really good. So
it was a strong pre-show.
I got fuck all to do. So
the quick rundown of what happened with Callis and Kenny. Shivani's out. Kenny's music plays. Everyone freaks out. Callis comes out and cuts a promo. He says Adam Cole will be a great transitional champion until Kenny comes back. They're really setting I mean, God willing, if you're watching this, you've watched it already. You watched the show. But
Snake Bill's Dumbledore.
Respect the game, man.
No, I'm looking forward to watching those matches. That promo, that'll be fun. The last thing I wanted to do with this match was Hangman shaking Cole's hand at the end, an unconscious Cole, but like a quick Ring of Honor throwback. At least Shivani shouted it. I think it was Shivani shouted it out that way. I don't know if it was a Ring of Honor thing or just Hangman, despite the fact he was really pissed at Cole, respecting him.
Oh yeah.
But either way, it was cool, and I liked it, and it makes Hangman look like such a good dude, which he absolutely is. So I was so here for it.
I love confident Hangman. I think it's something that they've only really started to scratch the surface on, because the whole thing that got him to the top was how unconfident he was and how insecure he was. So I'm glad that we're there now, and this felt like it. This isn't a guy who's going to keep holding grudges. This isn't a guy who's going to be mad at his opponent unless they really give him a reason to. So this was somebody he had a great amount of love for back in the day, and he beat him. He could afford to be the bigger man.
Yeah. I think that when they did their face-to-face stare-down promo, like, they showed quite a bit of respect until obviously Cole walked away and then Red Dragon trumped Hangman. But like they showed a bit of respect. So I think somewhere deep down, Cole respects Hangman, and Hangman obviously respects Cole. And I think Hangman knows that somewhere deep down Cole respects him, and that's why that happened. Also, real quick, I want to shout out Danny for showing up in the chat and not on this fucking live stream. So thanks, Danny. Really appreciate that.
We're lost without you, man. And Chad, where is Chad?
Well, Danny actually asked where is Chad, and I just assumed Chad's asleep. It's late on a Sunday night. Actually, it's quite late on a Sunday night. And also,
on that note,
I'm out of beer. So on that note, we're going to wrap it up here on the Mark It Down podcast. Thank you for kicking with us for the last hour and like 20. So much for this being quick, James.
This is quick for us.
Yeah, quick. Yeah, you and I could do 3 hours on this show alone.
It's true.
But thank you so much for watching, everybody. Be sure to like and subscribe. As we always say, we hit 100 subscribers, James will wrap, and has also apparently thrown dyeing his hair green on the table.
Some part of my hair. Somewhere.
Yeah, I don't know if it's going to be the beard, the hair, the Hulk Hogan mustache. We'll figure it out. Either way, James is going to be Jade Cargill hair and rapping. So like and subscribe, people, so we can get this fucking done. Also, be sure to follow us on the social medias. I occasionally get drunk and live tweet shows, so you should probably, follow us on Twitter and also Instagram, because Danny posts memes. So, and Facebook, because I think somebody does. Who does the Facebook?
That'd be me.
Yeah, see, James does.
I'm
Facebook.
working on it, guys. I'm working on it.
Also, come on, if you're like watching a live stream, we know you're not really on Facebook, but people like Facebook, so go do that too. Like I said, thank you for watching. Have a good night, and we will see you next time here on the Mark It Down podcast, which will be Wednesday after Dynamite. So be sure to tune into our live stream there, and the podcast will be out sometime later in the week. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed Revolution and Sacrifice last night. Sorry, James, didn't get to talk about it, but
it was a good show. It was a good show.
We ran out of time. We'll see you guys next time here on the Mark It Down podcast for the third time. Have a good night.